Let's see what the theme is, boys. Oh boy, they're making this really epic for some reason. Wesley, why'd you do it? Two, one.
The theme of the 8th
Oh boy.
GDevelop Game Jam is Take Control. So developers from all around the world have 9 days to make a game using the theme Take Control.
I kinda have an idea. I would have to... Like, I do have an idea. I would just have to really think if I care enough to do that idea. It'll take me a minute to think about. We will see. This is what I have so far, and I'm starting to kind of question everything. So the idea, we'll just load it up, is you grab them and you can keep them from going over here. But you have a limited amount of tries and now you can't move them anymore. And that's you taking control of the pests coming towards you. But I'm not sure if this is actually fun. This seems a little tedious, and sometimes they won't move. I don't understand that one. Junimao, you rude little cat. There is also a timer. So, like, I know I want something out of this. I like the basic concept, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. Also, this is my first ever tile set. I was just trying it out. I'm not sure how I want to approach this, so I want to kind of write out my thoughts and see where it goes from here. Hello everyone! In this video, I will be talking about the roller coaster that was making a game for GDevelop's 8th Big Game Jam. As you saw at the start, I made a game with the idea you have pets that are going to attack your garden, and you have to take control of them by moving them away from your garden. You get a limited number of moves per pest, so you basically need to keep your garden in one piece while you wait for a timer to run out. In theory, this was a pretty unique idea. Almost like a tower defense, but not. Kinda. But with it, I ran into so many bugs and had so many problems, and it was just not a good game. Unfortunately, I figured this out 5 days in. After the clips you see here, I worked on it a little longer and tried to add a corral and a few other things, but it just wasn't good. I knew the game wasn't good. I could make all the art for it, but it didn't work. So I knew I had 3 choices. Start over, give up, or try to make this one work. Starting over felt so daunting. I only had 4 days left. I had made games in the past for game jams in a day, so 4 is much more time, but it just felt futile. Trying to make this one work felt like a waste. I wasn't happy working on it. I know projects have a hump in them, but this is different. I was actively miserable, and game jams are hard enough. If you're genuinely not feeling healthy, it's not worth it to push through. Giving up, for me, was an option, but also was not. This game jam is special to me. I entered the 5th edition of this game jam in spring of 2024, and I didn't get to enter any of the following ones due to life just being a lot. And I kind of used this one as a mark of, have I improved? The reason is, the 5th edition Big Game Jam was my first game jam. I made a mental health game about trying to stabilize emotions. So in the end, I decided I would start over, because if I can make a game in 1 day, I can figure it out in 4. This means too much to me at this point. I just have to try. But before I get into that game, I do want to say a few things I learned from the failed attempt, because there were some things. It wasn't an entire waste. One of the things I learned is about tile sets. I have never made a proper tile set before. I have made kind of a tile set like 8-9 years ago, back when I used Game Maker, but it wasn't like your standard tile set where it's like different pieces of the ground to make paths and stuff. It was literally just little individual squares with different tiny pictures that are 16 by 16 to decorate levels. It wasn't really like a real tile set. This is my first actual like tile set where you're supposed to put it together and it makes paths and stuff. And I learned a lot from making one. I learned that it's kind of fun, but also a little stressful. And this is going to lead into the next thing I learned a lot about: collisions. Collisions suck. We hate collisions here. I tried to make a corral, like I said before, and I thought, okay, what if I make the corral using a tile set of fence posts? It was not a good tile set. I just wanted to see if it worked. So I tried making a tile set of fence posts, and you can make the tile set, but how I've learned a thing or two about collisions and tile sets is if you make a square using a tile set, I've said tile set so many times, if you drink water every time, you'll be drowning. The innards part of it becomes also a collision. So if I have my little guy that I have running around trying to attack the garden, when I drag him in there, he breaks. He doesn't work at all. I tried to have a spawner inside of the corral to see if they'll still try and like go towards the garden. They just sit there because they're technically colliding in something that I gave the behavior to be a pathfinder obstacle, or pathfinding obstacle, or whatever it's called. Yeah, I don't know how to fix that, which this will lead into pathfinding. I learned I hate pathfinding. Not just with this game, which we're just going to call it Mole Munch, because that's what I was going to call it. My idea was little moles were going to show up, and then there's also going to be bunnies. Also, this game that I ended up doing, which we'll talk about in a second, I tried pathfinding there too. I've just decided I hate pathfinding. I don't like it. Frick pathfinding. Will I probably do something else with pathfinding? Yeah, probably. I think technically a game I'm working on the side has pathfinding in it, and you know what? That checks out why it's not doing what I want. I don't like pathfinding. Anyway, I also learned a little bit about text objects, getting them to like be individual with like one object for like how many tries you have with dragging the little guy, and also each individual garden I gave like health points, and I got one text object to like do individuals for all of those. So I learned a little bit about text objects as well. So it wasn't a total loss. Okay, new idea. Random spawns, weeds grow. You have to click on the weeds to pluck them, and then you can move bunnies around to help tame the stuff. So they grow, and you can move the bunnies around. And then after you've unlocked more bunnies, you can add some more. You can like put them over here. I will have like a couple different animations for the weeds, so that way you can tell that like they've been like being eaten, because they're kind of too close to like the same image. So, but you can like move them in spots, and it'll like keep it at bay, so you can like stick to an area. And I'll probably have like a timer for like a minute, and you'll have to like keep everything back for like a minute. Not sure how fun it is, but I like it, so we're going with it because the loop's almost done. For this new idea, I was inspired by the videos of people putting their weed-loving pets in patches of weeds and letting them just go to town and eat. The gameplay is simple. You pick weeds, but you also have bunnies, and you can move them around to eat the weeds as well. I tried pathfinding with the bunnies to move back and forth and have a little brain that knows what it has and hasn't eaten, but the bunny fought back. It was not flipping, it was getting confused, and I was just not up to fighting in this game jam anymore, so I chose to just move it around, and that's it. I was also inspired by a previous game jam game that I've made, where you have to trim wildflowers before they cover up your screen. I did reference old code, but I didn't copy it, since I thought of a more efficient way to do it anyway. I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to copy code in the GDevelop jam, and I just didn't want to copy it regardless. But I did need to remember what I did, so I did reference it, but I did not copy. This game gave me a few problems, but I found solutions or workarounds. A lot of those, actually. Also, my boyfriend helped me out by playtesting, and he played the game wrong. and was able to finish it. And the way he played it actually fit better with the theme and was harder. So since at this point the game was basically finished, I decided I have time. I'll add a hard mode. All this mode is you cannot pick the weeds. You can only control the bunnies. And to make this mode work, it took only one line of code and duplicating levels, which in hindsight I probably could have just used a variable and saved me hours of work trying to fix all the buttons that broke by duplicating the levels. I just had to turn off the button behavior for the weeds, and then you can't click on them no more. That was literally the only change I did. And it made a whole mode that I got universally told that it was harder, just because you couldn't pick the weeds. So, shout out to him once again. This is the second time he's made my game better. We're just going to keep him as our personal little play tester. He's very helpful. We love him. We loved him regardless, but we love him. As for the art, I did some of the art in Clipstudio and some of it in Procreate on my iPad. I went for my current beloved storybook style that I've been into recently. I didn't do any shading, but I did add texture with a watercolor brush, or a fresco, I think it's pronounced, brush that's in Procreate. I did colored line art, and I also went with a color palette I don't tend to go for, but I think it makes the game stand out from my other games. I'm also pretty proud of the logo. I think the little ears on the E are funny. All in all, I did enjoy the second half of the game jam. Did not enjoy the first half of the game jam. I also learned something new with this game. I learned that there are in fact object timers. Why didn't I know about this sooner? I fought with that for a little bit too, but I figured out how to get it to work. I am so excited about the object timers. I'm literally sitting here, my friend was visiting. I'm sitting here, I'm scrolling. I'm like, okay, this would work better if there was an object timer, but I don't think there is. And she's sitting next to me, I'm like, hold up, I'm gonna look and see if there actually is an object timer. I look at her, I'm like, there's an object timer. This whole time I could be using an object. Why did I not know about this? So then I fought with the object timer and I got it to work. But anyway, I am quite happy with how this turned out. I did not expect to be doing 2 games for one game jam and having, an existential crisis in the middle. But it all worked out. I got it done. Everything's wonderful. I do not know my rating as of now, but we will find out together. And this final clip will just be me showing you the final game, and then after that, I will edit in the rating when it comes out. And yeah, that'll be it. Alrighty, so here is my game. Here's the page. This is the logo. This is, it's a page. There's nothing really special about it. But here is the game. I actually really like this menu. I think it's cute. I like the little weaving around flowers. Credits. How to play. You can go to play from there, normal or hard. We're gonna do normal. Bun. You can flip them over. In this mode, you can also pick the weeds. The hard mode, you can't pick them. You can only move bunnies around, which is very hard. And it's the same game throughout all of this, and it has 3 levels. The only difference is the bunny gets smaller, and for the hard mode you can't pick weeds. So that's pretty much the game. I guess I could show you hard mode real quick. I'm gonna probably lose. I always lose hard mode. Ah! Yep. Rip. But, yeah, that's the game, but let's look at the rating. So out of 352 entries, this is how I did. So graphics 39, audio 59, overall 83, fun and game design 89, originality and innovation 130, theme 142. So, remember I said this game jam I joined to see if I had improved, because this was my first game jam when it was the 5th one. I technically improved with graphics. I don't remember what I was, but I had a lower rating in graphics. I also had a low rating in fun and game design. So I did improve, I guess, with those two, even though I kind of think the first game jam that I did, the graphics were kind of more unique and better, but that's personal preference. Overall, I did worse. I believe I got 45, 43, something like that. And in this one I got 83. So, did I improve? I mean, in a technical level, I know I improved overall, but I was just kind of hoping that the rating would be at least similar, because I know I'm not, like, in the top 10 or whatever worth of skill. I know that, but I was hoping at least be the same. But that's alright. I still like the game. I still like how I did. Everyone was really nice who commented, so yeah. With all that being said, my cats are nagging me, so I'm gonna have to feed them now because the timer just went off of the alarm. So, I hope you have a good rest of your day. Like, subscribe, share. If the hype thing applies to me, feel free to hype me up. Apparently that's like a new thing. I don't know if I even have that, but yeah, I will see you all later. Bye!